Next on stage won't be a conversation. I will go back home a little bit. We'll have some numbers. If you're in social media, it's something you always love, having some numbers, because this is something you can show to your management team and explain if they're not already convinced that social media is big and is evolving, all this kind of stuff. So we have a usual suspect here at LeWeb, because it's not the first time he's speaking. He's what's the title again? Yeah, he's the co-founder and CEO of Socialbakers. And Rezab will do a 2013 social media wrap-up on stage. Jan, please help him welcome.
Good. Hi, everyone. We'll play the video first, and then I'll get to my presentation. So. So hope you like that video. If you want to share it now, we just tweeted it out from Socialbakers. I tweeted it out like a minute ago. So for those of you that don't know us, we're Socialbakers. We're a social media analytics platform for brands and companies to use and measure. Today I'm here to talk about 2013 and summarize a little bit of social and what we did in 2013, what we did together, how we evolved social marketing. So if we look first at the world of Facebook, for example, an average user on Facebook in 2013 likes 150 pages. And being a fan of 150 pages means that you have a lot of content, you have a lot of competition if you're a brand to really embrace. And we analyze also who those competitors are, for example, if you're a brand. And it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that people are fans of: brands, celebrities, entertainment. And you're competing, even as a brand, you're competing with these other pages. And of course, then you're competing with the friends. And as you're building content, which is essential to social media, we've heard that over and over during today and yesterday, it's really about telling the story, but knowing that you're competing with these guys. If we look at content, content is essential. And ads are a way to distribute that content in a better way. 75% of all ads in social media are now newsfeed ads. And this has evolved dramatically over the last few years. As you can see, it was 0 a couple of years ago, and today it's over 75% on Facebook, more so on Twitter, and coming there on LinkedIn and other platforms as well. Instagram pretty much has only native advertising. And we don't know what to call it yet. Many people call it newsfeed ads, promoted posts. Media are now starting to call it native advertising. That's suddenly trying to stick, but it's important to embrace it. I've heard from a social media manager earlier today that I'm doing the content, I'm doing the measurement, and I asked him about advertising, about promoting posts. He said, you know what? It's really not in my job description to be doing social advertising today. It's in the media team. And I said, but do you think that really should be that way? Do you think that it's really not as part of your job description if you do social? And he said, you know what? In 2013, it probably wasn't, but it is going to be in 2014. So companies over 2013 have embraced newsfeed ads. Those who haven't are not going to be doing a good job in 2014. You really have to do newsfeed ads, dominantly newsfeed ads, actually. And one thing to realize, there's advanced targeting and not advanced targeting. And friends of fans, the targeting you use on Facebook, is not an advanced form of targeting ads on social media. Because if you have 1 million fans, they have 200 friends, you're targeting to everybody, basically, if you have a local ad in a local country. So most of the ads today, actually, are still not targeted. And companies really have to embrace more and more targeted advertising. If they don't, they're going to be irrelevant. If we look at Google+, if we go over to the Google+ category, you saw that opinion in the video. I've been making fun of Google+ pretty much since it's launched, and saying that it really hasn't done pretty much anything around becoming really mainstream. But I've been giving it a hard time, but it's actually evolved a lot since then. So not only is it a way to comment on YouTube videos, and now the only way to comment on YouTube videos, they've also launched the Plus Post ads on Monday, making possibility, you know, later in the beginning of the next year, making a possibility for ads on the entire display network of Google to be social. This is huge. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of buzz around that announcement. I've seen a few press coverages, but this is huge. I mean, having Google being an entire social advertising network, I mean, that is amazing. And we're going to see a lot more of that in 2014. And I can tell you, I predict that all, actually, ads will be social in 2014. And I've been giving Google really a hard time, but what they've done really smart is they started integrating Google Plus in different parts of the Google experience, into YouTube, into search, into Android, into Gmail. And they've acquired a lot of, initially, registrations. Perhaps not genuine activity. They're not a social network. But what they did really accomplish is become that layer. And they can launch the Plus Post ads because, yeah, we're not using it maybe, but we're all signed up to it. And we will generate that activity. And through YouTube, it's one of the first really smart integrations recently with the comments, where you can take the comments and you publish them on Google+, you don't even know it, but the people start sharing and sharing. So that's how you become a social layer. And through ads, there will be greater and greater adoption, because their entire Google network, their ad network, is going to become a distributor of that. We look at Twitter. Twitter and TV has been a huge thing in 2013. People have been embracing it more and more. Companies have been advertising to it. I think even over-focusing on it, if you ask me. But Twitter and TV, the connections, Twitter buying a bunch of TV analytics companies, Nielsen doing its Twitter TV ratings, that's a huge thing. And of course, Twitter has been ramping up Vine with the possibility of making at least a little more visual content than just photos in the feed. And that's been an amazing thing, and lots of companies have been doing that. But also with Twitter, of course, it's more and more the ramp of the promoted tweets. Twitter went public. They now need to probably make some money, and they're putting promoted tweets in the newsfeed. And this is a great form of distribution. Lots of companies are starting to use it. They're opening the self-serve model slowly for more and more countries. So this is great. And it can be used, of course, other ways. For British Airways, it's the guy that promoted his tweet while complaining to them. But there are many forms of using Twitter advertising. And it's really, there's ways to embrace it. So if I summarize 2013, I would look into content. We've evolved content in an amazing way during 2013. Now, why am I showing the picture of The Simpsons? That's an important question. So we call it the Simpsons principle. Simpsons has over 500 episodes aired over the last 20+ years. It's as old as me, by the way, almost. I'm a year older, I think. And if we look at The Simpsons, they're building relevant content. With every new episode, every new show they do, they're building relevant content to the people today. And that's how we've been able to survive. So for brands, the message here is you have to build content that really is here to survive. And you know, if Oreo is going to be overused as that example, I mean, we should not see that as not a standard. I mean, we should see good content being a standard. We should not say, oh my God, I saw good social content. Everybody should hopefully have social content. All social ads are becoming to be content-driven, and in 2013, this has happened. And of course, social media customer care took a huge leap forward in 2013. It's really come to a next level. The evolution of social care is amazing. From companies responding 5% of all questions in social media in 2011, they're now responding over 63% of questions. It's going to be more even in Q4. We're running the studies now. We're going to launch it on January 20th. And if we look at some of the best companies in the world, people are asking me, Jan, does it really pay off to do social customer care? Does it have an effect on our ROI? And I'm always telling them it does. And it has two ROIs. One is direct. You can, if you're an airline, if you're a services company, you can upsell the client, book the client, help the client. And it always has direct ROI. But the indirect part of that is actually you build a certain loyalty to your brand, and you build it on social media. So KLM not only does have one of the best social media customer care teams with over 100 people doing it in over 10 languages, they also published how fast they're responding directly on their Twitter. If you go to Twitter/KLM, they have that thing and they upload it live. This is a screenshot like from half an hour ago. Now they respond in 40 minutes. If you write them, 40 minutes is the current response time. They update it every 5 minutes. But more importantly, all of that has made them into to the airline with the most loyal fans in all of Facebook. So they have the best airline brand with great engagement. And for those of you that know a connection of the ads and the organic engagement, you will know that actually getting a lot of good organic engagement makes your ads be more cost effective. So they're essentially lowering their ad costs by building great loyalty with their customers. And this is something I haven't ever seen studied, but it's a fact, and this is the proof of it. If we look at Socialbakers and what we do in that area, we look at these trends. We look at how companies are doing in the area of content, customer care, and ads, and we help them measure and optimize. We help them tell how they're doing. We evolve that measurement. We help them integrate it into the company, and we help bring great innovation into, okay, do I want to measure my engagement and reach in real time now to be understanding when can I really post the next piece of content? Because when you're advertising, it does take a few hours for the content to ramp up. No problem, we'll provide that. And before going, to sum up a 2014, to look out into what's coming in 2014, we've been able, at the beginning of 2013, to predict 2013 pretty well and what's coming. So with 2014, I'll leave you with a few predictions. First of all, if we look at 2013, it was, for example, on Facebook or even on Twitter, it was about getting fans, getting engagement, getting fans, getting engagement. For whatever money, just get me most of them, most of the fans, most of that engagement. But really importantly, it's about getting the right ones. 2014 will be about getting the right fans, about getting the right engagement from the right people. So it's not yet sending one friends of fans boost, one promoted tweet to everybody. It's about really finding and discovering your audience and targeting different messages and understanding who do I want to send it to and if it makes sense to sending it to them. In social customer care, we've seen a lot of evolution around people that are being pretty aggressive towards brands. Brands have to embrace both if they really screw up, and they have to get ready to face the challenges, or they have to get ready to people that are actually wanting to hurt them because they're not a very good fan. And we can see this with Abercrombie & Fitch. Look up #FitchToHomeless, where they're basically giving out Abercrombie & Fitch to homeless people to downgrade the brand. I mean, that is a direct, what I would call brand terrorism. It's an attack against a brand, and that brand is not doing anything to fight it back, not doing anything to respond that. I mean, please don't fight back, just take appropriate measures to do that. And as we said in 2013 that all social ads will become content-driven promoted posts, I believe in one very important thing, that in 2014, all of digital ads will actually become content-driven, more and more content-driven. So what we're doing here is switching the pyramid from becoming, let's build a campaign, let's build some ads, content around it, and let's promote it, to really building the content and the story first, then figuring out who to promote it to, and then building the advertising campaign around it, or many advertising campaigns around it. Because good companies don't promote it once, they create many ads around that. So if you want to work with us, come and talk to us. I'll be somewhere over here with my colleague, and it would be great to work with you guys a little more in 2014. Get ready for the next big things coming, embrace all the new social networks emerging, and ramp up the ones that we're working in a better way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian. Just one quick thing. So you're having now a Meet the Speaker session. That's right. So if you guys want to meet him and ask any kind of question, it's in the building in front of this one, so Pullman building. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.